Have you ever walked through a forest and felt like you were being watched? Not by an animal or another person, but by the forest itself. As if the ancient trees, the rustling leaves, and the very ground beneath your feet held a memory of every single person who had ever passed through. It sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, but what if I told you there's a place where this feeling is so strong, it's become a local legend? A place known as the Forest of Echoes. This isn't just any old woodland. Tucked away in a remote corner of the world, this forest has a reputation that precedes it. Locals whisper tales of footsteps heard when no one is there, of faint laughter carried on the wind, and of a strange, comforting presence that seems to guide lost travelers back to the path. They say the forest doesn't just remember, it interacts. Today we're going to journey into the heart of this mysterious place to explore the science, the stories, and the sheer wonder of a forest that seemingly holds the memory of every footstep. So what could possibly explain this phenomenon? Let's start with the science because, believe it or not, there are some fascinating theories. One of the most compelling ideas revolves around mycorrhizal networks. Now, that's a big word, but think of it as the forest's internet. It's a vast underground web of fungal threads that connect the roots of different trees. This network allows trees to communicate, share nutrients, and even send warning signals about pests or dangers. Scientists have proven these networks exist. They're incredibly complex, linking almost everything in the forest. Now imagine this: when we walk through the forest, our weight compacts the soil. We leave behind microscopic traces from our shoes, our skin, and our breath. Could this vast, sensitive network be able to detect and, in a way, record these disturbances? It's a bit of a leap, but it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. The forest floor is a living, breathing entity. Perhaps the memory isn't a conscious thought like ours, but a physical imprint, a subtle change in the network's delicate balance, an echo of our presence left in the soil. Another scientific angle is the idea of infrasound. This is sound at a frequency too low for humans to hear consciously, but we can still feel it. It can cause feelings of unease or even a sense of a presence. Old-growth forests, with their unique structures of towering trees, dense undergrowth, and deep ravines, can create strange acoustic effects. Wind moving through the canyons and over the treetops can generate these low-frequency sounds. The footsteps people hear might not be memories, but acoustic illusions, tricks of the wind and the landscape that our brains interpret as something familiar. It's the forest's own unique symphony, playing tunes that we can only feel. But science can only take us so far. To truly understand the Forest of Echoes, we have to listen to the stories. One of the most famous tales is that of a young girl named Elara who got lost in the woods generations ago. As night fell and a storm rolled in, her family feared the worst. But the next morning, she was found safe and sound, curled up at the base of a massive ancient oak tree. She said that whenever she felt scared or lost her way, the ground beneath her feet would seem to vibrate gently, nudging her in the right direction. She claimed she heard soft whispers on the wind, not of words, but of a feeling of this way, this way. The villagers believe it was the forest itself, remembering the countless paths taken by their ancestors, guiding one of its own back home. Another story involves a group of botanists who came to study the forest's unique flora. They were skeptical of the local legends, of course. One afternoon, while deep in the woods, one of the scientists, a man named Dr. Aris, stumbled and twisted his ankle badly. He was miles from their base camp and his radio wasn't working. As his colleagues went for help, he sat alone, leaning against a moss-covered boulder. He later described a profound sense of calm washing over him. He said he felt a strange warmth radiating from the ground and heard what sounded like a low, rhythmic hum. It wasn't scary. He said it felt like a lullaby. He swore that the pain in his ankle lessened, and he felt a peaceful energy that kept his panic at bay until help arrived. He left the forest a changed man, convinced there was more to it than just trees and soil. These stories aren't about ghosts or hauntings. They're about a connection, a relationship between people and the place. The memories of the forest seem to be benevolent, protective even. It's as if the accumulation of positive human experiences, generations of children playing, couples walking hand in hand, people finding peace and solitude has imbued the forest with a gentle guardian-like spirit. The forest remembers the joy, the peace, the love, and reflects it back to those who enter with an open heart. This leads us to a more philosophical idea, the concept of place memory or genius loci. This is the ancient Roman belief that every place has a protective spirit. Think about your favorite park or a childhood home. Don't these places have a specific feeling, a unique atmosphere that's more than just the sum of their parts? The Forest of Echoes might be an extreme example of this. For centuries, people have walked its paths with reverence and respect. They haven't exploited it. They've coexisted with it. This long-term positive human interaction could have, in a sense, shaped the forest spirit. The footsteps aren't literal recordings but are the energetic residue of all the lives that have touched this place. When we walk there, we're not just walking on dirt and leaves. We're walking through layers of history and emotion. Our own senses, perhaps more attuned in such a pristine, natural environment, pick up on this energy. The forest isn't remembering in the way a computer does. It's holding on to a feeling, an atmosphere, an echo of all who have come before. So how can we experience this for ourselves? Well, you don't necessarily have to find the one and only forest of echoes. This phenomenon in a more subtle form might exist in any ancient woodland or natural space that has been respected over time. The key is how you approach it. Next time you go for a walk in nature, try this. Turn off your phone, take out your earbuds, slow down, don't just hike through it. Be in it, pay attention to the little things, feel the texture of the bark on an old tree, listen not just for the birds but for the sound of the wind, the creak of the branches, the rustle of a single leaf falling to the ground. Stand still for a moment, close your eyes and just breathe, feel the ground beneath your feet. Are you just standing on soil or can you feel something more? A vibration? An energy? A sense of history? You might be surprised by quieting our own internal noise. We become more receptive to the subtle language of the world around us. We might just start to hear the echoes of the footsteps that came before us, not with our ears, but with our hearts. The story of the Forest of Echoes is a beautiful reminder that we are part of a much larger, interconnected world. It tells us that our actions, our emotions, and our very presence leave a mark. It encourages us to walk through the world with respect and kindness because the places we touch might just remember us long after we're gone. Whether the explanation is fungal networks, infrasound, or the spirit of the place, the magic is undeniable. The forest remembers, and in remembering, it teaches us to be more present, more connected, and more aware of the beautiful, mysterious world we all share. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the Forest of Echoes. What do you think? Have you ever felt a strange connection to a particular place in nature? Let me know your stories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Until then, walk softly and listen closely.